Hey guys, welcome back. So Alpha 4.8 just dropped and I genuinely cannot tell you how it plays because like a lot of you right now, actually getting into the game and staying in it is its own challenge. Servers are crashing, people are hitting infinite loading screens, including myself just trying to reconnect. The ASOP terminals at the main event location are freezing players in place. The brand new flagship ship refuses to despawn off the hangar pad, which is the Ironclad, and somehow the Lorville tram is yeeting people out of bounds or even getting them to space. Trust me, I've experienced this myself, the one time I even got into the game. So on launch day of the biggest free fly event of the year, this patch hit record concurrent player numbers, the highest ever recorded for any Star Citizen patch ever, and the infrastructure just was not ready for it. So let's actually talk about what's broken, why the free fly got put on hold, and what CIG had to say about all this on stream. And real quick before we get into it, if you want to stay up to date on everything Star Citizen, news, updates, gameplay, all of it, hit that like and subscribe button. It generally helps me out a lot and make sure you don't miss the next one. So first, real quick, 4.8 is called Tactical Strike and it is a genuinely solid patch on paper. The headliner is a new coordinated multi-ship PvE mission where your group hits an abandoned station before the Vandals show up. The Drake Ironclad dropped, a massive armored freighter with a detachable command module. The Aegis Hammerhead got its gold standard rework. There's a new G-Force system tied to your flight suit, an overhaul ship insurance system, a space crossbow that I genuinely love, and over 166 bug fixes. This was supposed to be a big moment, not to mention the other ships like the M80 from Origin, the Pitbull, which I'm dying to try out because I've heard that it's very powerful but very agile at the same time, so that's really interesting. The Tiburon, which is a massive laser beam, and other updates in this patch, so I was genuinely looking forward to it. Now let's address the launch and the server situation. So CIG was targeting May 13th for the patch. Developers worked through the night allegedly and it didn't land until May 14th, just 3 hours before DefenseCon opened. That alone was a sign that the patch was in a very bad state. Here's the key detail though. CIG confirmed on Star Citizen Live that 4.8 is the highest concurrent player count ever recorded for any patch, ever, which explains everything that followed because the servers were simply not built for what showed up. Right now, there are reconnect errors hitting players after server crashes. You get an infinite loading screen, and the only fix is to fully close and restart the game, and sometimes it works. Guys, I've been trying to get into the patch for 2 days and I just couldn't. The ASOP terminals at Area 18, which is where DefenseCon is happening, are soft locking players in a frozen state that only a full menu exit can fix. The Ironclad itself, the brand new flagship ship, refuses to despawn off the hangar pad, and Ben Curtis confirmed on stream that lighting is broken on several ships, including the Ironclad. It's being fixed, but it's not intentional. And the Lorville tram is physically ejecting players who stand too close to the doors, just launching them out of bounds from a train, or having an express highway to space, because this is what happened to me. And that gets into the free fly decision. The DefenseCon free fly was supposed to open on May 14th and run until May 27th, 2 weeks before anyone can play Star Citizen for free. On May 15th, Jared Huckaby announced on Star Citizen Live that it is not happening yet.
A couple things, let's get it out of the way. The free fly. You may have seen some notifications about the free fly that was supposed to start today. We are not going to start the free fly today for no other reason than it would be wildly irresponsible of us to do it. So we are not going to start the free fly until the mission system cools down. We're just not going to do it until we feel like it's a good experience for everybody here.
The reasoning is straightforward. If the servers are already struggling at record concurrent numbers from existing players, opening the gates to a wave of free players makes things worse for everybody, including the new players who would be logging into a broken game for the first time. Now, while all this stuff was happening with Alpha 4.8, the DefenseCon Q&A covered a lot of ground, so let's run through it. On the Ironclad, the jump seats are not for the crew, they're for transported passengers so they don't get thrown around in atmosphere. Yellow paint on the Assault variant is intentional, not a swap. And if your pledged paints aren't showing up, there's the back end being too slow under record concurrency. Not an actual problem, just wait it out. For the Pitbull, the 6 guns and missiles is all they could fit. The ship was designed to be as small as possible and they had to actively work to make it feel less small in the process. Their words, they had to make an effort to make it less cute, which I think they failed because it is very cute. Now, for the repeaters feeling useless in the current meta, they're not meant to threaten big ships. They're a real threat to something like a Gladius. You can also swap them out, or come in after another ship has already chewed through your target's armor, and then they do their job fine. On the Tally Ripple selector for carpet bombing, there's a queuing limitation on ordnance, and increasing the bomb limit would also raise it for missiles, so it's not a simple fix, still being worked through. For the MISC Starlite, the Starfarer is too big to be an empty point into refueling, so the Starlite exists to fill that gap. It runs 2 Starfarer fuel pods, was built specifically around the refueling feature, and has some Starfarer DNA in the design. Now, important to know, it only refuels, no harvesting, no refining. For the Origin future design direction, the M80's high-end DNA carries through the lineup, but the feel of each ship depends on its role. On whether the M80 is overpowered versus the Scorpius, they're different tools. The Scorpius is multi-crew with a turret, which gives it advantage the M80 simply can't replicate. For the lamp system with the new ships, it should work on the M80, but if it doesn't, check JC's Spectrum post because it depends on canopy setup. On making every loop a big moneymaker, CIG's answer was that not every loop needs to be rags to riches. Some things should just be fun to do. Which is kind of weird because, like, personally, yes, I want to have fun while doing some loops, but I also want to make money because I don't want to feel like I'm wasting my time. I don't know, that's just me. It could be, at least if these game loops are just for fun and not for profit, then they should be very far in between, or there's a way you can make profit off of it. Anyways, moving on. On the Tiburon, the laser is pilot controlled, and where the docking collar used to be, there's now a massive armory. On the Idris laser bugs carrying over, yes, they're present in the Tiburon too. Hit improvements were made, but a bug got in with how damage is passed on, and an elegant fix is being worked on. And the Tiburon is not a Hammerhead variant. A variant shares the base ship's name like an Avenger Warlock or Saber Raven. The Tiburon is its own ship built on a similar chassis, the same way the Meteor isn't a Mantis variant. And finally, when will landing gear wheels actually roll? No idea. Still plan. When is toilet gameplay coming? Also no idea. Some things remains a mystery, I guess. So that's where things stand. 4.8 has real interesting content when you can actually get into it. The server pressure is real, but so is the fact that it is a record-breaking player activity, which is actually a good sign for the game's health long term. A hotfix is coming and the free fly will open once it does. Keep an eye on the RSI status page and I'll cover the hotfix when it drops. Drop a comment, let me know how 4.8 has been for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe and leave a comment below. Tell me, what is your experience with 4.8 right now? Are you able to get in? What are you facing bugs? What's happening right now? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, thank you guys for watching and I'll see you in the verse.